get the lead. He's got it.
Bubba Wallace is going to do it.
Bubba! My goodness.
You know Bubba Wallace, even if you don't know Bubba Wallace. He's the black driver who wore an I Can't Breathe t-shirt one week, was on TV advocating for NASCAR to ban the Confederate flag the next day, and sported a Black Lives Matter paint scheme in a race.
A noose was found hanging in the garage stall.
He's the driver whose crew member found a noose in his garage, a noose later determined to have been in the garage stall for months. In a time of civil unrest over racial injustice in our country, Bubba Wallace is the driver who transcended NASCAR and even sports. But who really is Bubba Wallace? Darrell Wallace Jr. was nicknamed Bubba because, like most people who are named after their father, a nickname was necessary to differentiate the two. The son of a white father and a black mother, a notable athlete herself who competed in track and field at the University of Tennessee, Wallace was born in Mobile, Alabama, and his family moved to Concord, North Carolina when he was a toddler. And there in North Carolina, he grew up loving what many kids in North Carolina love. He loved racing. At age 14 in 2008, he became the youngest driver to win a late model race at Franklin County Speedway. He earned an opportunity through the NASCAR Diversity Program and has driven for some of the most notable and successful team owners in the sport, including Kyle Busch in trucks, Jack Roush in the Xfinity Series, and now Richard Petty, the King, who won a record 200 Cup races in his career.
Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to get the lead. Congratulations, Darrell Wallace Jr.
Wallace is a driver who has always been good enough to show potential, but he hasn't been so dominant that he would be an automatic star, a can't-miss prospect.
Watch that bottom, watch that bottom. I mean, Bubba Wallace, I thought he was going to win that thing.
He is the only driver from the 2010 and 2011 diversity classes to be ranked full-time in the National Series level. He never shied away from the topic of being the only black driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, and he has always understood the pressure on him.
And Bubba Wallace to the outside finishes his first Daytona 500 in second place.
He finished second in the 2018 Daytona 500 after weeks of intense media focus as the first full-time black driver in 47 years, and he cried on the podium during his post-race news conference.
I'm just so emotional over where my family has been the last 2 years that I don't talk about it, but it's just so hard.
He's also a driver whose focus could be questioned. His matter-of-fact description of his team's lack of funding last year made him appear whiny. In the same matter-of-fact description, he connected with thousands of people as he candidly talked about depression, even breaking down in a media session. He lives in the moment. He threw water on Alex Bowman as Bowman sat on the ground after a race. He rage quit during an iRacing event.
God!
That's it. That's why I don't take this serious.
He plays the drums loudly, and he doesn't hesitate to deliver a middle finger salute to another driver if he feels wronged. But that's Bubba. He's real. He's grown up in the spotlight, and we've seen him learn and stumble, get back up and win, get knocked down again, and climb back into the driver's seat. He's had his feuds with other drivers that have had nothing to do with his race, but because of the way he has acted on or off the track. But his competitors respect him. That was evident after drivers pushed his car to the front of the grid as a sign of solidarity. Drivers who will readily admit they aren't great friends of Wallace didn't shy away from supporting him as he continues to speak out against discrimination. They respect his handling of the pressure, his handling of the attacks, his handling of the hate that has come his way as he advocates for change. And don't forget that he's just 26 years old. Wallace himself is changing before everyone's eyes. Seeing him in interviews, there's times you wonder if he can handle it all. As he says, it's a burden, but not really a burden. So who is Bubba Wallace? I'll say this. Don't watch this essay in 5 years to know who Bubba Wallace is. He's growing up.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.